What's up everyone, welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon. We're posting 4 videos every day, so make sure to check back every single day. We're aiming for 20k subscribers and get the deal in the description if you haven't already. Plenty of free crypto and goodies down there. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. What's up guys, so just before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe and the bell icon. People aren't seeing our content and this is probably because you haven't hit the bell icon. Thank you again for all your support. The algorithm is slamming a lot of content creators right now, so we really appreciate all your support. And we're so proud of the amazing community that we've built, so make sure to jump into the Telegram and the free Discord. So we're just taking a look at Spartacus DAO here, which is a project that we have been bullish on for a good while. Obviously, this is launched fairly recently. Basically the start of November, so it's about a month old now, but they've actually done a lot of stuff recently that we've been super bullish on. This is a project that we have been looking at ever since its launch, basically as a reserve currency DAO on Phantom. We do believe this is a top quality project in our opinion. We have obviously been looking at this for a good while. We do think it's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of reserve DAOs obviously, but we do think this is potentially one of the biggest reserve DAOs on Phantom. There's been a lot of own forks recently, but we do really think that Spartacus does have a lot of potential. And recently they have actually announced that they are launching Spartacadabra in a similar way to that Time has basically integrated Abracadabra, and they have full automated money markets basically on there. Spartacus have actually launched Spartacadabra as well, which is fully integrated with Spartacus and is essentially extremely bullish in our opinion about what's going to be happening with the ecosystem. They're basically fleshing out their project. They're not just offering another own fork, they're actually offering a lot of utility and benefits for holding Spartacus as well. With Spartacadabra, obviously it works in a very similar way to Abracadabra if you're aware of how that works. But essentially what you can do is you can buy Spartacus, you can stake it on Spartacus DAO. You basically get your rebase yields every single day just for holding it. So you're constantly accumulating a bag of Spartacus. And then you can wrap your Spartacus that you have staked into WS SPAR, and then basically you can deposit that onto Spartacadabra, where you can borrow it against your Spartacus, wrapped Spartacus, your wrapped staked Spartacus on the protocol, and then basically you can borrow their own token against that, which is their Lambda stablecoin. You can either swap this for other stable coins, buy back Spartacus and spin it up in that essentially that 9-9 way that a lot of people have done with Wonderland Time, for example. What people used to do was they'd buy loads of time, they'd borrow against it by using their staked wrapped time. They'd basically borrow stable coins against it, they'd buy more time, they'd redeposit that onto Wonderland Time, and then they'd borrow against that extra bit and they'd spin it all the way up basically on high leverage to get a huge bag of time that was giving them a massive amount of rebases. And then they'd either use that to pay down the loan that they had basically taken for time, or they would just basically continue to take the money and hodl it and just basically watch their leverage position on their collateralized loan that they have taken against their collateral asset. But essentially you can do the same thing now with Spartacus, but on the Phantom network. We are super bullish on the Phantom network in general. We do think it's very undervalued considering its TVL. The token itself is undervalued, the Phantom token, but we do think, considering how many projects are now launching on Phantom, they've got a really nice network of different market makers, all kinds of different dexes. There's a lot of DeFi on Phantom, and we do think Spartacus is going to start to benefit heavily from what's been going on with all of this. Like we said, we're super bullish on this project, and they are releasing more and more utility on a very, very popular and growing ecosystem and chain, which is Phantom. And we do really think that Phantom is going to continue to do well. Like we said, a lot of the DeFi on there is actually getting a lot of attention and use right now. It's not a ghost chain like a lot of, potential chains like Polygon, for example. Doesn't really have that much DeFi on it, which is specific to Polygon. Whereas with Phantom, a lot of the top chains, a lot of the top projects on Phantom are specific to Phantom. And we really do think that Spartacus does have the potential to be basically one of the biggest projects on Phantom, considering all the utility that they are offering, and especially with Spartacadabra now offering all kinds of different ways that you can make money. For example, you don't even have to, do the tactic that we just said, where you spin up your leveraged Spartacus by leveraging it on collateral, using stablecoins to buy more and then spinning it up. For example, you could just take the stablecoins, deposit them onto the platform and provide liquidity, get fees for swaps, etc., and make a passive income stream that way. There's lots of different ways that you can use the ecosystem to your advantage. And obviously this benefits the Spartacus protocol as well, because it allows them to have more liquidity that they can use to basically continue to flesh out their ecosystem and expand it for everyone who's involved, which is obviously bullish for Spartacus as well, because it means that their treasury is going to be, you know, getting more and more fleshed out as well. By the way, one of the most bullish things in our opinion about Spartacus, just before we take a quick look at the charts just to finish off, is the fact that basically their token is extremely backed. There's a lot of basically a lot of forks, a lot of reserve currency forks that aren't very backed at all by their treasury. They're trading at a massive premium. For example, there's some which are like 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe even 20 times at a premium of their actual backing in TVL. But it's pretty amazing for Spartacus. The current price is around $110, and I think their treasury is basically almost 1-for-1 backed, which is absolutely incredible when you consider that this is like $100 million project essentially that's almost fully backed by I think it's DAI, and then there's 5% of it is in Phantom as well. So this is a project that has like an extremely good backing of actual stablecoins and assets, and in our opinion, you know, this is the sign, you know, that things are going really well for the project. They're not trading at a huge premium. There's obviously a really good backing there, and this is a super bullish for the protocol in general, especially in the longer term for stability. So overall, we're really bullish on Spartacus, and they've just, as we said, launched Spartacadabra. Definitely go and check it out. Do your own research. Obviously not financial advice, but we do really think there's a lot of potential there to make a lot of great gains. Because it's super early, so there's a lot of really favorable incentives to get people involved. You can go on there, get involved, spin up your Spartacus, potentially even, you know, just borrow the stable coins, lend out your currencies on their platform to provide liquidity, get swap fees, etc. There's lots of cool opportunities on there. If you're obviously familiar with Abracadabra on AVAX in association with Time, you'll know pretty much exactly how it works. But this is obviously on Phantom, and we are super bullish on this project. So with all the fundamental stuff out of the way, we'll just take a quick look at the technicals here. As you can see, we've labeled basically a few of the key levels. You can see we did have this big coiling motion like this, where essentially we'd had, you know, we're coming up higher, where we had our support, resistance. We come back down to support here. But we do think with the market rolling over and looking quite bearish, we did actually roll over outside of our coiling motion here. We came down to a swing low level of support at around $105 here, which was actually interesting enough a previous resistance here, which has now been flipped into support, as you can see here. We are still making higher lows, by the way, and currently, you know, even though things are looking pretty bearish in the market, we do think Spartacus has actually held up pretty damn well in comparison to a lot of cryptos, which actually rolled over a massive amount. We can see that Spartacus is actually looking pretty good in terms of its chart. It's really just coiling up still, in our opinion, for some kind of potential move to the upside. You could argue here that, you know, if you move your lines a little bit, something like this, that we are essentially still just coiling up in a bit of a motion like this, you could say. And obviously, as we said previously, we don't think that Spartacus has actually rolled over that much, especially when you're getting rebase yields as well. In terms of your investment, you are going to be protecting yourself all the time by constantly increasing your position, and over time you are going to start to outperform a lot of, you know, the potential downswings in the market. Even if they're 20, 30, 40% over a period of months, you're going to be essentially getting a lot of your investment back via the rebases, as you're constantly earning a yield on your investment essentially. Purely from a technical perspective right now, it does look as though Spartacus is essentially, in our opinion, coiling up. And right now we have got some very key bullish divergences on the chart here. You can see that we did actually have prices coming lower right now, but the RSI coming higher. You can see the histogram also making higher lows. Quite clear in our opinion that we're probably going to start to see a bit of a bounce here. Looks like there was some quite large sell orders here, probably just someone selling their bags basically and then buying back lower. Maybe some whales potentially, but overall we'd say Spartacadabra and Spartacus, very bullish projects indeed. A really good ecosystem that is starting to get fleshed out. This chart, in our opinion, is looking completely fine. We've just basically had that, you know, that initial craziness at the start of the launch, a massive run up, a big correction, another run up like this, and then obviously with the market being bearish, it has been dragging Spartacus to the down in our opinion. But we do think once the market does start to flip back to at least ranging and then potentially heading to the upside, Spartacus is probably going to see a very nice bit of movement to the upside as well. In our opinion, probably coming back up towards some of these levels that we were seeing before, at least coming back up to around this $150-ish level in our opinion. And then beyond that, we do think that it's probably going to do very well. If we just take a quick look at the Fibonacci retracement actually, just to see basically what's going on here, you can see quite clearly. If we just make sure this is in the correct spot. And then I'll just delete these lines so we can see what's going on. So you can see if we pull this Fibonacci from high to low here, you can see what's these technical levels being respected absolutely incredibly well. You can see we come up, stuck under the 0, is this the 023? Stuck under the 023, we come up to our next level, 038. You can see we're just making our way up all of our levels here. We come up to the 078, we range between there and the 618 for a good while here. Resistance, support, resistance, support. Oh dear, excuse me. With resistance, support, we run all the way up almost to the all-time high, but we get front run, and with the market rolling over and looking quite bearish, we come down, we lose the 618, we come down to the 050. Support, resistance, we break through the 610 again, the 0618, but you can see we lost it as support again, come back down, and we are just trading down through our levels right now. And then once we lost our 038 here, we did come down, basically down and double bottom right now from the looks of things. And our next support, if we did roll over again, for example, would be coming down to the 023 again at around that $100 level. You'd say that's a very key level of support in our opinion, where you probably see a very significant bounce. And then obviously beyond that, if we do move to the upside, we've got the 038 coming back up to that $122 level. And then we do want to see ourselves getting back up towards the 618, the most key level in our opinion at $175-ish there. Once we do start to see the bounce off the downside, in our opinion, that's probably going to be quite likely. And then beyond that, as we've always said, we do really think that Spartacus is a top quality project. We're not sure how far up these Fibonacci's it's going to get, just because of obviously reserve currencies. They don't trade typically like they do, like altcoins do. But we do really think getting back up towards the all-time high at $300-ish is very likely. We're very bullish on this project and the ecosystem it's developing, and we do think it does have good potential to, you know, do really well going into the future. So I'd like to thank everyone so much for their support. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon, to stay up to date with 4 videos we post every single day. Remember, if you want to support the channel more directly and get a ton of benefits and insight, as well as joining our growing community, consider the Patreon or YouTube membership down below. There are 3 tiers giving you access to our private Discord. Crypto Support is available if you just want to help us out a small amount. Crypto Maximalist is our main tier, which gives you access to detailed daily technical analysis and signals, weekly and monthly coin calls, and insights into our personal moves, while Maximalist Gold takes it a step further, giving you an insight into our personal portfolio tracker, super low cap gem research, and a 100x portfolio we're constructing and updating, and access to us personally as a resource to discuss your portfolio via Messenger. Make sure to check it out. You can also sign up to our free Telegram and public Discord via the description as well. All the links are in the description for affiliate links for discounts and free crypto, so go check them all out below. There's plenty of goodness on offer. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.